Hey guys, and welcome back to Mad About Skin. If you're new to our channel, welcome. Here at Mad About Skin, we're passionate about helping you to get the most out of your skincare. So if you haven't already, now's a fantastic time to click that link below, subscribe to the channel, ring the notification bell, and you won't miss out on any of our amazing future content. Now, today's video is going to be a survival guide for the first few months on retinol. Anyone that's watched this channel before knows I swear by retinol, one of the few active ingredients which can reverse the signs of aging, not prevent it or pause it, reverse the signs of it. Everyone needs it in their skincare routine. I've done a few videos on picking the right retinol for you, so I'll leave a link up there. However, it doesn't matter if you buy the best formulated retinol, the one that's perfect for your skin type, get everything right, you're still going to go through what beauty editors commonly known as the retinol uglies. That is the first 6-7 weeks of retinol where you have the peeling, you have the redness, you have the irritation, you might have increased sensitivity, you might purge, the skin might purge, so you end up with more acne or more breakouts. Just none of it's great. It's like revisiting puberty and nobody enjoys it. Your skin's dry, it's tight, yet it's still breaking out. It's grim. The reason we go through it and put up with it is because the skin that awaits you on the other side is glowing, fabulous, useful, and everything you want. So it's definitely worth persevering for those first 6 weeks to get past the uglies and onto the gorgeous skin that awaits you. However, there are some things you can do to make that process a little bit better, and I'm going to talk you through them in this video today. The reason I'm kind of doing this video now is because I have recently changed up my retinol from the inkless retinol, which I swear by and love, to Differin, which is an adapalene retinol. So third generation retinol, and the reason I'm changing is because my skin at the moment, due to a number of factors, changing weather, the fact we're in lockdown and my diet's changed slightly, it could be hormonal, there could be a whole number of things. My skin is producing a lot more oil than normal. I'm starting to get a few breakouts, and adapalene is fantastic at just calming that down and supporting with that. So I've switched over for about 6 to 8 weeks to adapalene, switched my retinol over so I can get the benefits of that and just regulate some of the oil production. So I'm expecting some of these uglies and nasties to emerge in my skin over the next 6 weeks. It's going to be worth it, but it's something I've got to persevere. So I thought I'm going to put together a survival guide for retinol for you guys, so you know exactly what to do if you're starting retinol or if you're increasing your strength of retinol, which could be another time when this occurs. First of all, exfoliate. Now, a lot of people want to avoid exfoliation because they think if my skin is irritated, dry, sensitive, peely, the last thing I want to do is throw an exfoliator on as well. Actually, a lot of that is the increased cellular turnover that the retinol causes. As a result of that, you're going to be producing a lot more skin cells, and the dead skin cells are going to be accumulating much faster, and you need to support your skin in getting rid of those, sloughing them off and making sure they're not clinging. The bonds which hold the dead skin cells to the new skin cells need to be broken to get rid of that and help your body to expel those dead skin cells. I usually use a glycolic acid, which is actually fine, and I'm going to continue to use a glycolic acid. But if you're very sensitive and you do start to see quite a bit of redness, irritation, and peeling from your retinol, starting retinol, just go down a notch. Knock it down from the glycolic acid, which can be quite drying to the skin anyway, and move over to a lactic acid. Lactic acid is equally as inexpensive. The ordinary do a 5% for £5, $7. So you don't need to spend a lot of money, but get that in your arsenal, because the reason lactic acid is fantastic is it's got huge molecule size, so it's less aggressive and less penetrative than the other forms of exfoliating acids, but it's also a humectant and a moisturizer, so you're going to get the benefits of increased moisturizing and still be able to get that fantastic exfoliation game on point, which we all need, because you need that dead skin cells, that dry, irritated skin cells, because sometimes I feel like you're wearing a mask to be gone. So step one, always exfoliate, and don't give up that exfoliation. Just keep it in mind, it's going to be helping you in the long run. Step 2 is start with whatever if your retinol's been prescribed by a GP or a doctor, a dermatologist, obviously follow their instructions. But if not, if you're going up a strength, think about how often you need to use your retinol. You might be using a low strength retinol every single night, but then when you go up to a full strength retinol, I wouldn't be using it every night. I'd knock it back. If you're transitioning from one retinol to another, I'd half the frequency that you're using to allow your skin to get used to it and be accustomed to a stronger retinol, and then you'll get a lot less of this peeling. So my top tip for number 2 would be to just think about the frequency that you're using it. Similarly, if you're using it for a new to retinol, I would again use it once a week for a week, then I would use it twice in the following week, then 3 times, and just build up like that. Make sure that you're not overdoing it, because that's going to make the retinol uglies go into overdrive and will probably put you off using the product for life, and we don't want that to happen. The third point is think about moisturization. But I'm not just talking, I see so many people just slapping on the thick occlusive moisturizers and thinking that's going to do anything. You need to hydrate the skin. That's drinking loads of water. That goes without saying. Just drink more water than you've ever done before if you're on retinol, because that'll keep the body able to hydrate the cells. But more importantly, think about adding a humectant, not just like an occlusive moisturizer, but a humectant. If you can afford the expensive Neod, I think it's £40. I did a whole video on Neod, I'll link it there. Gorgeous. They do a hyaluronic complex. This is like the best humectant out there, and this is probably more moisturizing than any moisturizer you will ever use in your life. If you can afford that, definitely invest in it, because that is going to really help and support with the moisture barrier of the skin and making sure that some of the dryness and the irritation is kept to an absolute minimum. If you can't afford £40, and let's be honest, that is quite a high price point for a humectant, go for the inkey list hyaluronic acid or polyglutamic acid. Both work kind of similar, and pick the one that works best for you, but this is fantastic because it'll sit perfectly on the skin, do its hydration during the day, and attract and retain that moisture in the skin, which we all need. Second, when we're talking about moisturizer, it isn't just the humectant which you need, but it's also the moisturizer that you're going to apply after. I think peptides are going to be your friend here. So peptides not only deliver moisturization, but they also help to keep the skin elastic when the skin can feel really tight. So that's going to really help support in preventing that. So make sure you have a moisturizer which is packed full of peptides. My go-to would be the cicaplast baume by La Roche-Posay. I love that product. You can get it with an SPF if you don't want to use a separate SPF. They do a sun factor protection of 50 in it. It's a little bit more expensive, but if you don't want to use a separate SPF, you absolutely can get the one with the factor 50 in and use that. It's just as good. So top tip is just think about peptides. You can, if you want to be super bougie and have a huge arsenal of products to try and combat the retinol uglies, you can put the collagen booster serum, which is a peptide serum, by the inkey list on, then put your moisturizer. So you could go from hyaluronic acid to collagen booster serum to moisturizer. It would just be a hydration and peptide overload, and that would really help support the skin in dealing with some of that dryness and the irritation that you're going to get. Finally, you really need to think about your SPF game. So I would recommend normally an SPF 30 as a minimum. I think if you're using a retinol and you're new to a retinol, you really want to go for a 50 as a minimum. I just think that's giving that extra protection, and often they don't cost any more, so why not? I think when your skin is most at its sensitive, that's when you need to use it. So grab yourself a really good SPF. I would go for an occlusive, thick SPF. CeraVe do a fantastic one. That's a really, really good, thick and moisturizing SPF. Roche-Posay do some really good occlusive moisturizing SPFs. Just make sure that something comes in a cream form. You don't want anything that's oil-based, you don't want anything that's too light. You want something heavy and cream, so it sits on the skin and it almost forms a protective layer on the skin, which will work throughout the day as your skin is trying to combat some of the uglies associated with your retinol. Now, you follow those steps, it's not going to cost you that much money, and it's going to make your retinol journey so much more pleasurable. Of course, it all starts with making sure that you have chosen the right retinol for your skin type. That goes without saying. But once you've done that, follow these steps, and honestly, you will get over the worst of the uglies. I'm not going to promise you that you won't have any adverse side effects to the introduction of retinol. Most people do. I kind of see it as a rite of passage. You know it's working if you get that irritation, that redness, the peeling. You know it's working, and all of that is because it's increasing cellular turnover, which is what we want it to do. So don't feel too negative about it. And if someone's staring because you've got bits of popcorn like peeling off your skin, just stare them out. Don't worry about it. Stare them out, give them a bit of side eye and walk on, because you will have the last laugh when your skin is glowing to the gods and looking fantastic. One final common question I always get asked about retinol is, should I continue using other actives such as vitamin C, niacinamide? For the first six weeks of your retinol, I personally would just take those out, strip them back, and not include them in your skincare routine. The reason I say that is I just don't think you need to be adding other potential irritants or active ingredients into your skincare when your body and skin has got a lot to deal with the introduction of retinol. So for the first 6 weeks of a new introduction of a new retinol, I would personally pause all other actives, and in the morning just stick to your moisturizer, your exfoliator, your cleanser, your exfoliator, and your SPF, plus any serums, hydrating serums you want to add in, and the evening do exactly the same. I take away the niacinamides and the vitamin C's. I just think they're more things for your skin to have to deal with at a time when it is exposed and more vulnerable. So I personally would knock that out, but each skin type is different. Hope you found this video useful, guys. Don't be scared of retinol. There are things you can do to make sure you get that gorgeous glowing skin with I'm going to say minimum irritation. You'll still get a little bit. Hope you found this useful. Leave me a comment below. What was your retinol journey like? I'd be super interested to know. I'm going to start on Differin, the adapalene, this evening. So I'm expecting quite a bit of change in the skin over the next 6 weeks, but I'll be following these steps and hopefully my skin will thank me for it in the end. Leave me a comment below. Let me know your retinol journey, and wherever in the world you are, guys, stay safe, stay well, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care. Bye.